This is the Relic Radio Show, old-time radio entertainment still standing the test of time, from relicradio.com. This is the Relic Radio Show. Thanks for joining me once again. We'll begin with the Avenger this week and hear his story from June 15th, 1945, titled The Mystery of the Giant Brain. After that, it's the Blue Beetle and the Asylum of Doctor Drear. That story aired in September of 1940.
The Avenger.
The road to crime ends in a trap that justice sets. Crime does not pay.
The Avenger, sworn enemy of evil, is actually Jim Brandon, a famous biochemist. Through his numerous scientific experiments, Brandon has perfected two inventions to aid him in his crusade against crime as the Avenger: the telepathic indicator by which he is able to pick up thought flashes, and the secret diffusion capsule, which cloaks him in the black light of invisibility. Brandon's assistant, the beautiful Fern Collier, is the only one who shares his secrets and knows that he is the man the underworld fears as the Avenger. And now, The Avenger and the Mystery of the Giant Brain.
Who is it? Who's there?
It's Miss St. Clair. I want to speak to you, Professor Rodano.
Oh, all right. Come in. Why, Miss St. Clair, where are you going with all that luggage?
I'm leaving, Professor.
Leaving?
Yes. And you needn't pretend to be surprised. You know why I'm going.
Oh, yes, you were upset about those animals from the zoo, I believe.
Yes. That among other things.
Miss St. Clair, it was absolutely necessary for me to have those animals. Our experiments have gone far beyond the stage of rabbits and mice. I must have animals of a little more cunning. Of course, I'm sorry to have to steal them from the zoo and neighboring farms, but that's the only way.
Well, I want no part of it. When I came here a year ago as your assistant, I thought you were a reputable scientist.
I am a great scientist, Miss St. Clair. Too great to allow the petty ethics of...
Perhaps you are a great professor, but you've become cruel and inhuman. And the kind of man has no place in the laboratory. These experiments in brain surgery you're making now are horrible.
You think so? Then perhaps you have decided to report me to the police.
No. I just want to get out of here and have nothing further to do with you.
You're a coward, Miss St. Clair. You're afraid of what the great Rodano can accomplish. Why, Rodano's work is just beginning. Look, these three mechanical men, these robots I have created, they're only in their infancy.
Yes, I know they are. Look at them lined up there. 3 iron monsters, that's what they are.
You hate them because you fear them. In time, my robots will accomplish all that man is too cowardly to attempt.
Professor, please don't go on with this. Destroy them now before it's too late.
Why, Miss St. Clair? How can you talk like that? You helped perfect them.
I didn't understand what you were doing.
You will excuse me if I find that hard to believe.
It's true. Until a few weeks ago, these robots were merely harmless servants of your will. Created, you assured me, merely to fetch and carry for you. Now you send them out to capture animals for you, in the hope that in time you'll be able to create for them a brain.
Exactly. And that time is almost at hand. Just think, Miss St. Clair. Very soon I will no longer have to control those robots as I do now by the magneto-electric batteries I have installed about the house. They will have a mind and intelligence all their own.
You're playing with madness and death, Professor.
Two marvelous experiments. Madness and death.
I see that there's no point in trying to reason with you. But there is one other thing I'd like to do before I go.
Yes?
I'd like to know what has happened to Dr. Giles.
I told you 2 weeks ago I sent him away on business.
I don't believe you. I think he left you just as I'm doing because he wanted nothing further to do with you and your robot.
Would you really like to know where Dr. Giles is now? Would you like to see him, Miss St. Clair?
What do you mean?
Dr. Giles is in my secret basement laboratory. I had to lock him up in a little iron cage down there. Come, I'll show you.
No. No, you are mad. I'm going to the police. I'll have you locked up where you...
Robot 1! Robot 1, stop Miss St. Clair!
No! No, let me go! Professor, please! To make you let me
Carry
go.
her to the basement laboratory, Robot 1.
No! No!
You've always been curious about that secret laboratory, Miss St. Clair. Now I'll let you see it.
No! 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 Professor, I beg you, let me go! Please! Please, no!
All right, Fern. I'm ready to dictate now.
Let me see. This is experiment 2274, isn't it, Jim?
That's right.
Go ahead, Jim.
Subject. A power increase on the telepathic indicator. Data. Increase of 2 amperes on direct current caused the headgear to blow. However, when current was changed to alternating, reception was not only maintained, but increased.
Oh, Jim, you increased it. How wonderful.
I don't know exactly how much yet, but I think it's a matter of a few miles, Fern. We'll send out a crew tomorrow, station them a quarter of a mile apart, and experiment with their thought transmissions.
Good. I'll make all the arrangements.
Now for the data on the strongest thought impressions I picked up on the indicator today. Take this down, Fern.
Yeah.
Thought waves received from a greater distance than before seem to have their origin in violence, but not death. Constant static interference might indicate that the thoughts were surrounded by electricity at their origin.
That's something new, isn't it, Jim?
Completely new, Fern. Add these facts, will you?
Mm-hmm.
The color impression was gray. Gray with a background of blue. Perhaps something gray in color, high enough to be seen against the background of the sky. Either a tower or a plane. But since there was no indication of movement, I'm inclined to favor the tower.
Sounds as though we picked up the latent thought waves of a medieval maiden in distress.
There you go, letting your romantic notions run away with you again.
Well, nothing seems to be impossible with that indicator.
But if you'll review the facts, young lady, you'll realize that your medieval maiden could scarcely have been surrounded by electrical instruments of extremely high voltage.
No, I suppose not. Unless the tower was struck by lightning.
I give up. You win. But to get back to the facts, I'll make a note of this, please. I also picked up an impression on the same thought wavelength of inarticulate suffering, something that could have emanated from small children or animals. This impression was not as clear as the others.
That's a strange kind of impression.
Yes, and all the more interesting in view of a story that appeared in this morning's paper. Here, paste this clipping in beside those notes.
What is it, Jim?
It's a story about some animals that were stolen recently from the zoo at Midvale. Also, a raid on a fox farm near there.
What do you make of it, Jim?
Nothing yet. Fern, do we have a legend map that includes Midvale?
Well, we have one for this entire county. Will that do?
Fine. Yeah, where is it?
On the bottom shelf behind you.
Right. Now, let me see. Midwest crop list. Oh, Midland County map. Yeah, this is it. Midvale's exactly 16 miles due east from here. Yes, that's within the radius of the indicator.
Oh, look, Jim. This footnote says that Midvale boasts of several mansions of great architectural beauty that date back to the early 1800s.
It also boasts of several well-known silver fox farms, all of which ties in pretty well with the things we already know.
Oh, yeah.
Fern, how long will it take you to pack?
15 minutes.
All right, let's get moving. You and I are going on a little trip to Midvale.
Jim, how much farther do you think it is to Mr. Iser's farm?
Oh, we should be coming to it soon, Fern. Aren't you enjoying the walk?
Yes, only it's farther than I expected. He must have walked at least 2 miles since we left Midvale.
Well, it can't be far now.
Jim, why are you so anxious to talk with Mr. Iser?
Because Joe Iser has reported 4 foxes stolen from his farm within 2 weeks.
Oh.
And I think he may be able to give us a few leads. Off the record, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that must be Iser's barn just ahead there.
There's somebody shooting at us, Jim.
Fern!
Run!
Fern, wait. Nobody's shooting at us. Those shots came from behind that barn. Come on.
Oh, go ahead, Jim. I can't keep up. Look, there's a man running across the field.
I'll stop him. Hey, you! Wait a minute. Stop, I say.
No. I didn't do it.
Stop running or I'll bring you down.
No, they say I killed him. But I didn't.
No, stop, I tell you.
I didn't kill him. Let me go. I didn't do it, I tell you.
Now, take it easy. I didn't say you killed anybody, but I couldn't let you run away. Sorry I had to knock you down.
I was in the barn. I saw it all. But I didn't kill him.
Kill who?
Joe Iser.
Oh, you got him, Jim. Thank heaven.
The big man did it. The big man.
Come on, show us where Iser is.
Come this way. Here. Back of the barn.
Now, suppose you tell me exactly what you saw.
Well, Joe caught the big man stealing 2 foxes. Joe shot him 4 times. But the bullets can't hurt the big man.
What in the world is he talking about, Jim?
Hanged if I know, Fern.
There he is. There's Joe Iser. See? He's dead.
I'll have a look.
Well, Jim?
Yeah, he's dead, all right. And 4 bullets have been fired from this gun he's holding. We've got to call the police.
No, don't call the police. They'll say I did it. Oh, I'm going home.
Oh, no, you're not. You've got a lot of questions to answer. What's your name?
Harry Sampler.
Just what were you doing here, anyway? And who's this big man you're talking about?
Well, I live around the hill there in the shack. I come over here every day to help Joe with the chores, and he gives me food.
Yeah?
Joe is good to me. I wouldn't kill him.
So, today, while you were helping Iser, this big man appeared and stole 2 foxes?
Yeah, that's right. Joe started to shoot at him, but the big man walked right through the bullets and hit Joe over the head with his big iron hand. He killed Joe. The big man did.
Oh, this is getting us nowhere fast, Fern. I'm going to call the police.
Well, I think we'd better.
Come on, and show me where Iser's telephone is, Harry.
Well, Joe ain't got no phone.
What are we going to do, Jim?
Well, I've got to stay here and guard the place until the police get here.
But how can we get word to them?
Yeah, that's the question. I can't trust Harry to go. And it's getting too late for you to go alone.
Well, if I hurry, Jim, maybe I can make it into town before dark.
No, Fern. There's a killer loose around here somewhere.
I think there's a phone over to the Gray Towers, but I wouldn't go in there.
No? Where's Gray Towers?
Right around the bend and up the road a piece.
I'll go, Jim. I'm not afraid to go that far.
All right. But before you go, take a look at these footprints, Fern.
Oh, good heavens. They're monstrous.
Yeah, and there are at least 5 feet between the strides.
Jim, do you think there could possibly be anything to this poor fellow's story?
Well, it's fantastic, of course. But Iser was killed by a blow on the head, all right. He was struck by some kind of blunt instrument.
Jim, I don't think we should trust this fellow. Harry, maybe he's not as harmless as he seems. After all, he could have...
Don't worry, Fern. I'm not trusting him. I'll keep Harry right here with me until you get back. Now, you run along, but don't lose any time. I'll expect you back here in less than half an hour.
Okay, Jim. So long.
So long, Fern.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a phone up to Gray Towers. But I wouldn't go in there. I'd be afraid.
Seems to me you're afraid of just about everything, Harry.
You'd be afraid of the big iron men, too, if you saw them.
Well, all I've got to say is that somebody had better see them, Harry, or your goose is cooked. Even so, I'd prefer to have a better alibi for murder than an iron monster.
to the Avenger and the mystery of the giant brain.
Robot 2, open the door.
Excuse me, may I?
Oh, don't be frightened, my dear. This is just a mechanical man who acts as my servant. He's perfectly under control. Come in.
Oh, no, thank you. Never mind.
Seize her, Robot 2.
No, let me go.
Well done, Robot 2. Now close the door.
Tell this monster to put me down, please. I just came to use the phone.
You were sent to call the police, were you not?
Oh, you don't understand. A man's been murdered. Or perhaps you already knew that.
A very unfortunate incident, but that sort of thing is inevitable sometimes. People are stupid. They don't understand the needs of science.
Please let me go. I'm expected back in town.
No, you are needed here.
I'm needed here? What for?
I need your brain for my great experiment. You arrived just in time.
My brain?
Yes. Now I'll have three human brains. Bring her to the secret laboratory, Robot 2.
Oh, no. Put me down. Let me go.
No use to struggle. The robot has his orders, and he will obey them.
Oh, you are a murderer. You killed Isa.
He was just a little man who got in my robot's way. But yours is to be a greater honor than mere death. You will sacrifice your living brain to the great god science. A mere mortal could ask no greater privilege.
No. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
Stand guard, Robot 3. I'll open the cage, Robot 2. You put the beautiful lady inside. Miss St. Clair, Dr. Giles, I've brought you company.
Why have you brought this strange girl here, Rodano?
To share the fate I have in store for you and Miss St. Clair, my worthy doctor.
What are you talking about, Professor? Just what do you intend to do with us?
Be patient a little longer, Miss St. Clair. Come out and close the door, Robot 2. Now listen, all of you. Tonight, the mighty Rodano will perform the greatest operation in the history of surgery. I will add 3 human brains to the living animal brains I already have preserved. Wait, I'll show you. Remove the heavy cover from that table, Robot 2. Be careful not to break the glass case. Well, what do you think of it?
What is that horrible thing? It's moving.
Of course it's moving. It's alive. It's the composite living brain of 14 animals.
It's the most horrible thing I've ever seen. Even my worst suspicions didn't prepare me for anything like this.
Hold on, Miss St. Clair. We mustn't give up yet.
Be silent and listen to me. Tonight I add 3 human brains to this, and then I'll place them all within a special robot I've constructed. Then the world will see a real man of iron, a man of unlimited power and superlative wisdom. The great Rodano will be worshipped as the creator of a new race.
Oh, stop him. I can't stand anymore.
Professor.
Yes, what is it, Dr. Giles?
Perhaps we, Miss St. Clair and I, deserve whatever fate you have in store for us. Whether we meant to or not, we did help you create the robots. But this strange girl you've brought here, she had nothing to do with it. Let her go free.
Yes, Professor. There's no need to make the innocent suffer, too.
Ah, you two are cunning. Yes, you know that if I set you free, the police will be here in 5 minutes. No, I tell you, I need you all. Science needs you.
How much longer have we, then?
1 hour. 1 hour yet to live. Robot 1 will bring you a fine dinner of roasted duckling. We must observe the rules of death. The condemned should eat both well and heartily.
Well, Harry, it was a lucky thing for us that truck happened by so we could get word to the police.
The police come mighty fast, didn't they?
Yes, and they want to question both of us later, Harry. I promised them we'd both come to police headquarters as soon as I find out what's happened to Fern.
They don't think I did it, do they?
No. And if you promise me you'll tell them exactly what you saw, I'll give you a reward of $10.
$10? Gee, I never saw that much money.
Oh, say, Harry, is that Gray Towers?
Yeah, that's the place. That's where the professor and the big men live.
Have you ever been inside the house, Harry?
No, nobody's allowed inside. All the doors and windows has big bolts.
How do you know if you were never inside?
Well, sometimes I climb up in that tree over there by the garden and look in the window.
What did you see from there, Harry?
Well, that's how I first saw the big men. But nobody believed me. They said I made it up.
Well, I guess there's nothing for it then but to try to get in by the front door. Come on, Harry.
Oh, no, sir, not me. I wouldn't go in there. The big men kill people.
All right, you climb up in the tree then and wait for me.
Sure, I'll wait. You said I'm going to get $10.
That's right. I'll see you later.
Yes, sir. Nobody will see me up in that tree. It's too dark up there.
Well, Professor, you're going to have a visitor. When that door opens, the Avenger will step inside, and you'll be none the wiser because my diffusion capsule will render me invisible. The moment the door is opened, I'll break the capsule and enter.
What's that noise? Who's out there? Who's out there, I said? I'm sure I heard a peculiar noise just as the door opened. Who's there? Well, it must have gone away, whoever it was. Robot 1, close the door and bolt it. Now follow me, Robot 1. Follow me closely, for in just a few minutes, we begin our great experiment.
Dr. Giles, the hour is almost up.
Yes, just a few minutes more.
Think of that maniac sending down all this food. As though any of us could touch it.
Do you suppose that if we make all the noise we can, somebody might hear us?
There's not a chance of that, Miss Collier. This basement is soundproof.
Well, we certainly haven't anything to lose. We might as well try it. Here, each one take a tin cup, hit them against the bars as hard as you can.
And everybody shout at the same time. We'll say, help, we're in the basement. Ready? Go.
Help! We're in the basement! Help! We're in the basement! Help!
Listen.
It's the robots. It's too late for any help now.
Go ahead! Scream your heads off. No one can hear you. Stand guard, robots. I'm going to bring Dr. Giles out of the cage now. Kill him if he tries to get away. Come, Dr. Giles. Place him on the steel table, Robot 2. I'll fasten his hands and feet.
Oh, I can't look.
He won't feel anything. None of us will. The electricity will stun him instantly. That's the only way the brain can be removed and still remain alive.
Oh, don't!
Stand aside, robots. There, in a line. That's right. Now you won't be in my way. Every split second counts in this operation. Now we're ready. I'll pull the switch and...
No, you don't, Professor.
Who spoke? Who's there?
It's the Avenger, Professor.
Oh, the Avenger. Oh, Miss St. Clair, we're safe.
Why, I don't understand. Where is he?
Where are you, Avenger? How did you get in here?
You can't see me, but I'm here, Professor. Here to see that you're brought to justice.
Find him, robots. Find the Avenger and kill him. Kill the Avenger. Find him, robots.
Professor.
Giles. The Avenger is here to ruin my experiment.
Professor, set me free. I'll help you.
Yes, Giles, you must help me. I'll set you free. There. Help me, Giles. Help me find the Avenger. We must kill him. He mustn't ruin my experiment.
Dr. Giles, be careful. The robots have broken the glass case. The giant brain is free.
No, you robot fools. Look what you've done.
The brain is moving toward the professor.
No, robots, help me.
Dr. Giles. Dr. Giles, there's a robot behind you. Move to the corner. Where's the battery that controls these robots?
It's over here. I think I can reach it.
Giles, help me. Pull this monstrous brain away from me.
Can you reach the battery, Giles? Quick, or these robots will stab us to death.
Yes, I've got it now. There.
Are you all right, Giles?
Yes.
Then unlock that cage and get those women out of there.
Professor put the keys on the desk here somewhere. Here they are.
Well, I never thought I'd get out of here alive.
Neither did I.
Is the professor dead?
Yes, the professor is dead. No one could save him from his own creation. The professor's giant brain was just a boomerang. Giles.
Yes, Avenger?
Call the police at once. And when they get here, demonstrate how these robots work. Otherwise, they'll never believe your story.
Right.
Well, Midvale is one town I'm glad to leave behind me, Jim.
I don't blame you, Fern. You had a pretty narrow escape last night.
The Avenger saved Dr. Jaw's life by a mere second, Jim.
I got there the first moment I could, Fern. When you didn't return to Weiser's place, I naturally became worried. But frankly, I never expected to find anything as fantastic as the professor and his giant brain.
Well, we can't say Harry didn't try to warn us.
Yes, he certainly did. And for once, the police and everyone else in Midvale will have to admit that the truth in this case was more fantastic than any story poor Harry ever dreamed of.
Jim, what will happen to those robots now?
Well, they're just so much scrap iron without those control batteries, and the police have confiscated those.
What about the giant brain? What will happen to that?
It's being removed to the state research laboratory, naturally. The brain is dead now. Within 5 minutes of being exposed to the air, it lost all its living properties. That would have been a great disappointment to the professor.
Well, I'm glad it's dead. It was the most horrible thing I ever saw.
You know, Fern, at one time, Professor Rodano was a well-respected scientist. It's a shame that he went mad and used his genius in the wrong direction.
He was mad, all right. Jim, did you know that he sent us a delicious dinner of roast duckling last night, just before he came down to kill us?
No. And I suppose the thing that's worrying you now is that you didn't eat it.
Well, if I'd known how things were going to turn out, I could have done justice to that duckling.
Well, don't you worry your pretty head about it, Fern. I'll take you to Carlo's for dinner tonight.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm sure Carlo's roast duckling is just as good as Rodano's. And he doesn't reserve it for such special occasions.
All characters, names, places, and plots used in the Avenger program are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
This is a thought, a thought, a thought. Remember, listen for another adventure of
The Avenger.
Blue Beetle.
Sweeping down upon the underworld and fat gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask, and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel.
Today's transcribed episode of the Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is entitled The Asylum of Doctor Drear. Who is Dr. Drear, and what sort of an asylum does he run? Is he a friend of the unfortunate, or is he a schemer against law and order? As our story opens today, Patrolman Dan Garrett, who is really the Blue Beetle, is entering the little apothecary shop of his friend and confidant, Dr. Franz the chemist.
Hello, Doc.
Cash customer.
Oh, hello, Danny.
What news?
There's a young lady waiting for you.
The young lady where?
Back in the laboratory.
What does she want, and who is she?
Diana Tilton.
Banker Tilton's foster daughter?
Yes.
What's she doing here?
I don't know, Danny. Hadn't you better go back and talk with her? She seems very much disturbed about something.
All right, I'll talk with her. Good evening, Miss Tilton.
Oh, good evening. You're Patrolman Dan Garrett, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, I'm so glad you've come. I've been waiting some time.
What is it you wish to see me about?
Well, my father, rather my foster father, has disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes.
You're sure he hasn't gone out of town
Oh,
on
I'm
business?
positive. Here's a note he left for me.
Going away for a long rest. Don't worry. Linus will take care of everything. Love, Dad. Oh, this doesn't look as if your father's been kidnapped or met foul play. It's his handwriting, isn't it?
Yes, I think so, but I'm not certain.
Are there any suspicious circumstances mixed up with the disappearance?
Yes, there are.
What are they?
Well, for one thing, Dad's nephew, Linus Weatherby.
Linus Weatherby?
Yes, you know him?
Only by reputation.
Quite a playboy.
Yes, so I've heard.
Well, he's Dad's nephew and an officer of Dad's bank. Recently, things haven't been going any too well at the bank. Dad's been worried. Financially, I mean.
I see. Go on.
Linus insists that Dad is acting strangely, and a month or so ago he called in a psychiatrist, Dr. Drear, to examine Dad.
What was his opinion?
That Dad needed a rest.
Well, your father's note seems to indicate he has taken Dr. Drear's advice.
Yes, but here's a strange thing. Dad can't read or write without his glasses. He wears them constantly. He lost without them. Today, I found them in his desk drawer.
When did you last see him?
2 nights ago.
Well, I wouldn't worry. He'll probably send for his glasses in a day or so, and you'll learn his whereabouts.
There's one thing more.
What is that?
Since Father's disappearance, Linus has become more insistent that I marry him. He acts like someone who has the whip hand of a situation. Oh, he's becoming unbearable.
Well, why don't you go to the commissioner? He'd probably turn the city upside down to locate your father.
But that's just the point. I don't want to do that. If he is all right, he resents such interference. Then if he isn't, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm so worried and puzzled.
There, don't cry. I'll do what I can to help you find your dad. You run along home, and I'll phone you in the morning.
Oh, thank you so much. There, that's to show you how much I appreciate your help. Goodbye.
Gosh, I'm glad Mannigan didn't dare kiss me. I'd never hear the last of it.
And where is it we're headed for this morning, Danny?
The booby hatch.
The booby hatch, is it? Did you reserve a single or a double room?
A single. That'll be big enough for you.
Is that so? And under what name did you register me?
Sherlock Holmes.
And I suppose you're Dr. Watson.
No. Daniel Boone. We're calling upon a Dr. Drear. According to Charlie Storm of the News, runs a private sanitarium for the mentally upset out of Tanglewild.
Oh, you mean he runs an insane asylum?
That's right.
And why are we visiting Dr. Drear?
We'd like to discover if he has a patient there with the name of Tilton.
The banker?
The same.
Oh. Say, does the commissioner know about this?
No, this is a private mission.
Okay, Danny, I'm with you. Let's go.
Morning, officer. Something wrong? One of my attendants said you wished to speak with me. Dr. Drear, right? We're not here officially, Dr. Drear. Miss Tilton, who happens to be a friend of mine, asked me to drive out here and ask if her father was here.
Yes, he's here. Would you like to see him?
Yes, if we might.
Very well. you'll just come with me, I'll let you talk with him. But not very long. He's very nervous and tired, on the verge of a breakdown. You realize, I'm sure, what times like these can mean to a man in his position. Quite. And here we are. Two gentlemen to see you, Mr. Wilson. Come in. Come in. Excuse my not rising. Very tired, you know. Nerve shot. Well, that's perfectly all right. We just called at the request of your foster daughter. She was worried about you and thought you might be out here. Oh, did I? Tell her not to worry. I'll be all right in time, I hope. Tell her Linus will take care of everything. He's a good boy. He'll take care of her. I'll tell her, Mr. Tilton. Just one thing more. Could you write her this note? Let's see. My glasses are foggy. I see better without them. Yes, I wrote this note. Why? Oh, she just wondered, that's all. Well, we won't disturb you any longer. I hope you recover your health and strength very quickly, Mr. Tilton. Goodbye. Goodbye, and thanks for coming. Tell Diana not to visit me until I'm... Oh, my head, oh, my head, gentlemen. He's a very sick man. So it appears. Goodbye and thanks. Come on, Mike. What do you think, Johnny? I think it's strange that a man who's supposed to be unable to read or write without his glasses takes them off to read that note. Step on it, Mike. I've got a hunch and I want to play it quickly. That's a fun layout. Dr. Drear certainly does himself proud. Must be some money in psychiatry.
Hello.
Hello.
You're Sir Lancelot, aren't you?
I'm the Blue Beetle.
Oh, no, you're not. You're Sir Lancelot. I'm King Arthur. I know.
I see. Well, let's pretend I'm Sir Lancelot's brother.
His twin brother.
Yes.
We got twins in here.
Have you?
Yes.
What's their name?
Tilton.
Are you sure?
By the Holy Grail, I swear. I've seen them.
Show me, will you?
On one condition, Sir Lancelot.
What's that?
Promise me you'll get me a new round table. They took mine away.
Okay, I promise.
Follow me, but don't make a sound. There's black knights on guard, and Merlin the magician is always snooping around.
Who's Merlin?
The wicked magician who runs this place. Calls himself Dr. Drear, but he can't fool me. Here, this way. Follow me.
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain time to walk the night, and by the day confined to vast fall upon my beloved France, and I shall die.
Reach out. The mouse ran up the cloud. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down.
See, here's one twin. He's the crazy one. They keep him locked up.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome, Sir Lancelot. I'm going now, before the Black Knights come. Don't forget about my round table.
Yeah, what's going on outside my door?
Is that you, Mr. Tilton? The real Mr. Tilton?
Of course it's me. Who are you?
The Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. I thought they'd get you someday. Always doing crazy stunts.
I'm here to save you.
Who sent you?
Never mind that now. Tell me who put you in here.
Oh, that low-down nephew of mine. He and Dr. Drear. They must have drugged me.
Just a minute now till I try one of my master
To
keys.
horse, Sir Lancelot, to horse. The Black Knights are coming. To horse, to horse.
There he is. Come on, Joe. Here he comes. Stay away.
Yes, it's the Blue Beetle. Come on, you mugs, and get nipped.
Shock him with the rubber hose, Joe.
That's the gun of my God. That's that gun out of you, Joe.
Hey, what's the next that room there, Joe?
Sorry, but I'm going the other way.
Here. What's going on here? Blue Beetle, keep it from the door. Yeah, shut up. Put on your gas mask and stand aside till I give him a shot of this tear gas.
They killed Sir Lancelot. Sir Lancelot's dead.
Put him in the straitjacket. In the morning, we'll give the Blue Beetle a permanent room without windows.
What will happen to the Blue Beetle in the sanitarium of Dr. Drear? Will he be able to free himself from the straitjacket and save Banker Tilson? These questions will be answered in the next transcribed episode of The Blue Beetle. Copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspaper. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld at Matt Gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel. Today's episode of the transcribed Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is the second part of a story entitled The Asylum of Doctor Drear. In the previous episode, Diana Tilson asked Patrolman Dan Garrett to locate her missing foster father, Banker Tilson. He has disappeared, leaving a note addressed to her, saying he was going away for a rest. She is suspicious, however, of the actions of Tilson's nephew, Linus Weatherby, and a Dr. Drear, a psychiatrist, whom Weatherby brought in to examine the banker. Armed with a description of the banker, Dan Garrett and Mike Manigan visit the private sanitarium of Dr. Drear. They are permitted to interview a man who fits the description of Banker Tilson. He claims he is on the verge of a nervous breakdown and wishes to remain for a long rest. But a suspicious circumstance makes Dan Garrett decide to return later as the Blue Beetle. He finds the real Tilson and is about to release him from the cell when he is discovered by the guards and Dr. Drear and overcome by tear gas. As the episode ended, he was trapped in a straitjacket and locked up among the more violent inmates. As today's story opens, Diana Tilson's telephone.
Hello?
Is that Miss Tilson?
Yes?
Have you seen Dan Garrett?
Who is this?
This is Officer Manigan down his car.
Oh, no, I haven't seen him.
Yes, that's strange. I won't either, not since we got back from Dr. Drear's insane asylum.
Oh, tell me, did you find my father?
Yes, we did.
Did you show him my note?
Yes, he read it.
Oh, did he have his glasses?
Yes, but he...
Hello? Hello? Oh, hello. Oh, hello, Lana. Yes, I was talking to someone about father.
What did they tell you?
Well, they've seen him out of Dr. Drear's sanitarium.
Oh. Diana, why don't you marry me? Let me take that.
Someday I'll inherit Uncle's money and be rich.
No, Linus. No use. I'll never marry you.
You may change your mind. You're upset now. I think I'll have Dr. Drear talk with you. Perhaps a little rest at his sanitarium would get your thoughts in the right sense.
Pardon me, sir. Dr. Drear calling to see you.
Thank you, Wesley. Show him into the library. I'll be right down.
Very good.
Before I go, I want to warn you, young lady. If you want to save your father's life, you'd better do as I say. Good night. You say, Drear, the Blue Beetle was also out there?
Yes. We caught him talking to your uncle, the real banker Tilson.
That's bad.
Oh, we'll take care of the Blue Beetle. Don't worry about him.
What about Olson, the actor who's impersonating Tilson?
I'll take care of him also. By the way, he'd like to have some more money on account. So would I.
You'll get it. And you'll get it when I get it.
What about the meeting with the mayor's committee tomorrow?
That's all arranged. You have Olson there, made up as my uncle. You'll verify what I tell the committee.
Very well. But I must be getting back to my sanitarium. It's quite late and...
Stay here tonight. Everything's in order out there, isn't it?
I believe so.
Fine. Then we'll go out and burn up the town. After tomorrow, our worries will be over.
What is it now? It's the Blue Beetle. I'm going to get you out of here.
Good.
I'll pay you well if you make it. The Blue Beetle doesn't work for money.
You belong here, Blue Beetle. You're really crazy. Where are the guards?
The other wing drunk, apparently. Come on, Mr. Tilton. Follow me.
How did you get out of that cell in straitjacket?
Master keys and a special 2X formula that gives me super strength and vitality. I've locked the guards in their quarters. What a headache they're going to have in the morning. That may be for Dr. Drear.
Well, what are you going to do?
Wait here until we see if Dr. Drear's in his office. Wonder where Drear is.
He's probably in town with that no-good nephew of mine, painting the town red.
I'm going to take a chance and answer that telephone. Now, disguise my voice. Anna? Yeah? Who? Is that Dr. Drear? Yeah, this is Gus. Yeah, Gus. Sure, everything's under control. Yeah, you stay in town tonight. Okay. Who? Oh, the guy impersonating Tilson. Oh, sure, I'll leave a message for him. I'll tell him to come to town in the morning. Blue Beetle? Say, Doctor, Blue Beetle and Tilson are just where they ought to be. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Why, you'd make a good actor, Blue Beetle.
Oh, thanks. Come on, let's get out of here. My car's hidden alongside the road about a mile from here. You can make it, Mr. Tilton?
I never felt better in my life. Come on. When I get back to town, we'll put those scoundrels where they belong.
Oh, here comes Weatherby now.
Oh, where's Tilson?
I don't know. He should be here. Gentlemen, has the mayor arrived? Well, he couldn't make it. Press of official duties. Oh, I'm sorry. Will you be seated, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Where's your uncle, Mr. Weatherby? I'll have to ask your indulgence, gentlemen. Uncle Amos is a very sick man. He'll be here in just a moment with his physician, Dr. Drear.
Well, that's too bad.
Why, I didn't know he was ill. In the meantime, we'll get down to business. You gentlemen are a committee appointed by the mayor, I believe, to represent the city in receiving a gift of $1 million from my uncle, to be matched by another $1 million appropriated by the city to build a children's hospital.
Yes, that's right.
Well, gentlemen, it is my sad duty to have to inform you that my uncle is withdrawing his office.
What's that? Did we hear you right, young man?
You did, gentlemen. My uncle feels that he has too many obligations and too many duties right now. He is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Therefore, he is turning his affairs over to me to manage.
Well, what about your authorizing this gift?
Oh, gentlemen, I agree with Uncle Amos. I do not feel that his financial condition will allow such a gift to be made at present.
But
but the city has already appropriated its share. The land has been condemned, and the work of demolishing old tenements has been started.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but the decision is final.
Well, I demand to see Amos Tilson. Until I hear it from his own lips, I will not believe
Just a moment, gentlemen. Here's Uncle Amos now. He will speak for himself. Wheel the chair over here, please.
Gentlemen, what my nephew has just told you is true. I'm turning my affairs over to a younger man to handle. I want to rest and enjoy life. As soon as my nephew converts my real estate holdings and other possessions into cash, we are going away for a long trip. Heaven speed the day. I am very tired.
Dr. Drear, my uncle, I'm afraid
he's just fainted. If you'll have the mate get some water, I'll give him a hypodermic. He's just fainted. If you'll have the mate get some water, I'll give him a hypodermic.
Gentlemen, I know you'll excuse me, but I must be with my uncle.
It's a very pretty scene, but it won't hold back. It looks like it is Amos Tilson, the real Amos Tilson.
This man is an imposter. I'll call the police.
Imposter, my eye, you young chicken-ass. You and that crooked Dr. Drear thought you could get rid of me and take over my fortune, but your plans didn't work out.
Look there. The other Tilson. He's running for the door.
And Dr. Drear with him.
Stop it. Look there in the doorway.
Who is it? The Blue Beetle. And I've come to nip 3 crooks. Stand where you are. Drear, Weatherby, and Olsen. Officer Manigan and his assistants will escort you to headquarters. They're on their way here now.
Good work, Blue Beetle. But where's my daughter?
Here I am, Uncle David. The Blue Beetle just released me from my room. Her line is locked me in.
Well, he'll soon be locked in where even the Blue Beetle can't free him. Gentlemen, tell the mayor my gift to the city still stands.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shep. Don't thank me. Thank the Blue Beetle. If it hadn't been for him, there'd be no children's hospital for York City.
Well, Danny, and how did you like your visit to the booby hatch, as Manigan calls it?
Oh, that's a terrible place.
What will happen to it now that Dr. Drear is in prison?
Amos Tilson's going to take it over and make a real sanitarium out of it, with a real psychiatrist at the head of it, with all modern conveniences and more humane personnel.
Ah, that's splendid. What about Weatherby?
He's to be disinherited. Tilson's money will go to his foster daughter, Diana.
Blue Beetle certainly straightened that situation out.
But there's one thing he forgot.
What?
Yes, a promise he made to King Arthur.
King Arthur? Why, who's King Arthur?
One of the unfortunates of the sanitarium.
Where are you going, Danny?
I'm going to buy King Arthur the new round table I promised him.
And so a little private work of Patrolman Dan Garrett as the Blue Beetle brought happiness to many people, as well as justice to a group of dishonest men. The moral of this story is, always find time to help the unfortunate. And whenever you make a promise, keep it. What further adventures await the Blue Beetle in his crusade against crime? This question will be answered in the next transcribed episode of The Blue Beetle. Copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspaper. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle.
That's going to do it for the Relic Radio Show for this week. You can find more from the Avenger, the Blue Beetle, past episodes of the Relic Radio Show, and thousands of other old-time radio episodes at the website relicradio.com. You can donate through the website as well if you'd like to help support this and all of the shows. It's how they keep coming to you every week. And thanks, as always, to those who have helped out. Thanks for joining me today. Be back next Tuesday with another hour of the Relic Radio Show.